I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Two Distant Strangers. In this Oscar-nominated short film, a man is trying to go home to his dog, gets stuck in a time loop that forces him to relive a deadly run-in with a cop. So it's got rapper nominee Joey Badass in it. I'm like, that's what's up. The movie just came out. It's like 32 minutes long. I ain't know short films got Oscar nominees, but that's what's up though. It's one of those social issue dramas, you know what I'm saying? Spoiler alert, let's get it. So here we got Joey Badass waking up. A night of giving this chick named Perry the business. He's gotta go back to his house to take care of his dog. She's like, really? That's the excuse you gonna give me a dog? Okay. And then he's like, no, for real, look. It's my dog, man. You know what I'm saying? He get it popping. She accidentally bumps into a beer bottle and breaks it. She says, I'll get it. Don't even worry about it. And they just walk over it. I'm like, really? You're just not gonna clean it up? All right. So as he's leaving out, he calls his dog. And he's got something set up on his phone so he could give his dog treats. And he's talking to him about how he met this girl last night, like the dog's really going to respond to him. And then he leaves out the apartment. He goes in his bag to pull out a joint as his back wad of money falls out, which I thought was a cigarette at first, but nah, it's weed. Then this guy bumps into him, accidentally spills his coffee. Keep in mind, the guy bumped into him. He's the one acting all mad about his shirt. Nigga, watch where you going, Nick. And here comes this cop named Officer Merck. I'm like, hey, you got a problem here, sir? He asks as if he have a cigarette. Of course he lies and says yes. He's like, it don't smell like no cigarette, sir. And from this point on, you could probably guess what happens. Yep, the cop comes against the wall and tries to detain him. This lady gets him from a stand and records the whole thing on her camera phone. And then here comes some other cops out of nowhere. Yeah. And they end up choking him out in the street. And just when we thought he was dead, he wakes up back in Perry's bed again. The events occurred the same way, except he was able to sidestep the coffee guy. But this time the cop wrestles him down to the ground by himself. But this time the cop ends up pulling out his gun and shooting him. Then he wakes up in Perry's bed again. So obviously he's just been going through this time loop. So this time he decides to stay in the house. But then the whole damn SWAT team comes to the door, led by Officer Merck. And they end up shooting up Carter again. So one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, he tells her about trying to get her door fixed. The number on the apartment is 9, but it's missing a screw, so it's hanging down, so it looks like a 6. So these cops were looking for somebody in apartment 6, and they just shot this guy because he was black. The problem is they fucked up by going to the wrong apartment because this apartment is actually 9. And then he wakes up again. So at this point, they show a montage of loops he's been going through. And he knows him so good to this point that when Officer Merck asks him what's going on, he could literally tell him everything that's about to happen. He tells him a couple's about to kiss before it happens. He tells him about this lady about to take a selfie before it happens. He tells him about the skateboarder that's about to fall before it happens. The cop's head is so fucked up, he just lets him go. And as he's walking, I'm thinking to myself, why is he stopping to smoke weed? There's a cop car right there. I'm like, just keep going, go home. But then these kids come from the alley, they're running from cops too. And of course, because he didn't run and because he's black and he's got a weed in his hand, they pull up on him. You know what happens, he about to get duffed. He wakes up again, same scenario, except this time, he asks the cop to take him home. Because he's feeling they both have some type of understanding right now, he does. Still puts him in the backseat of the cop car, but he's giving him a ride home. So I felt like at this point, they're communicating with each other, try to get a better understanding of one another, and for a brief second, it felt like it. He drops him off at his house, thinking to ourselves, he's finally home, he's finally in the clear, he's going to get to chill with his dog. But then this cop gives a dissertation talking about, oh, you thought we were vibing, everything was all cool? Like, it ain't never gonna be what it is. So basically, at this point, Carter thinking he's fucked. And he was. Yep. So he wakes up again in Perry's apartment, and he's thinking to himself, one way or another, he's gonna get home to his dog. Then he gives a credit call to a lot of people that were killed by cops. I'm not exactly sure what the metaphor is, but if the metaphor is nothing's gonna change with these issues, if it's black and white, you know what I'm saying, then that's pretty fucked up. My take on the whole situation, brutality needs to be stopped and everybody needs to be treated equally. Period. Doesn't it say that somewhere in the Constitution? Yeah, I think back on my social study classes. Two Distant Strangers on Netflix. Check it out. Like Crystal Top, do all that. You already know what time it is. Sleep easy, all easy, mister. Ow, big. Who the goddamn slogan?